Well, hi. Today is Friday, November 28th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. It's also Black Friday. Are you going to get out and about, fight the crowds? And are there even crowds anymore? You know, I've never done Black Friday. I'm not interested in that, in fighting over saving $20 on whatever it might be. It's just not my thing. So, but for some people, it's tradition. I've known people that will get their entire Christmas shopping done on Black Friday. That's not me. Want to encourage you, of course, to remember all of the small shops that we have in our area. Shop small, shop local, shop in person. Make sure that's part of your holiday shopping experience. Coming up today, we're going to talk a little football because it is the annual Hawkeye Husker game, and this year it's going to be in Lincoln. And if we're going to talk about it, we should probably bring in the guy that's going to just rip off the filter and tell us what he thinks. That'd be Travis Waldstein of Aire, Serv Heating and Air Conditioning at Waldstein Plumbing. Look, full disclosure, you got a couple of Hawkeye fans here. So that's what this conversation is going to be. If you are a Husker fan, please, I welcome you to watch. Know that I wish you no ill will. I am rooting for your team to all come through healthy, but also rooting for the Hawkeyes to get a win. That's how this works. So we're going to talk Hawkeye Husker game with Travis Waldstein today on Morning Coffee. Morning Coffee also brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. If you like driving, you know you can get paid for it. As a first student bus driver, you'll work short hours and earn a competitive wage while making a difference in the lives of children. And that pay starts with a sign-on bonus. Fully licensed drivers get a sign-on bonus of $4,000. Those who don't have their CDL yet get a sign-on bonus of $3,000 once that CDL is obtained. Plus, every driver gets on-the-job training. So don't wait. Apply today at workatfirst.com. And technology should work for you, not against you. At ThinkSpace IT, they provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. From cybersecurity and cloud services to network management and tech support, they simplify IT so you can focus on what matters most. Stay protected, stay connected, stay ahead. Visit ThinkSpaceIT.com. Back with us this morning to talk a little football. It is Travis Waldstein, Aire Serv Heating and Air Conditioning, and Waldstein Plumbing. So Friday, as this is being released, it is Friday morning, and we are just hours away from kickoff if you have watched the show right when it's released. If you're watching it at night, then this is old hat. So you're time traveling back to the pregame before the Iowa and Nebraska game. But this is an interesting year, I think.
But Black Friday usually means shopping for most people. The one thing I'm doing is drinking beer in Iowa City or Lincoln. That's my shopping. So.
That's your shopping. This year, it's in Lincoln. This year, Iowa's already had their home game, which, by the way, you were at. Yep. And I saw your post about never having been so mad about a win in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And the Iowa offense looked like the Iowa offense of old under Brian Ferentz.
You know what? For 3 quarters, I mean, it was like the hangover from the USC game. It literally was. We'll talk Iowa for a minute. But the second half, Iowa's up 21-0. They're moving the ball against USC. In the second half, they just got throttled. And it's kind of like there was a complete hangover from the USC game. Even, because the only way Iowa scored in the first half was because of, basically a kick return, from Weegan. I mean, we had 0 yards of passing offense at halftime. 0. We had 24 at the end of three quarters. That was our passing offense. Now, listen, I was not a juggernaut at passing, but by even Iowa standards, that was horrible. By the fourth quarter, I don't know, Gronowski finally decided we just got to wing the ball, and he made some great throws down the stretch where you go, this is what we're talking about. I mean, when this offense gets going, it's like defense didn't play bad. Michigan State was able, they kind of had a lot of what Michigan State did is they would actually, they would send everybody off to the left, and they'd have their tight end go off to the right, and their quarterback would kind of scramble around, and they would just kind of throw a tight end dump pass basically, and they could get 6, 8, 10 yards. In their running game with their running back, they were able to get 3 or 4 yards on first down. I mean, it worked. It was kind of a dink and dunk. They had one big pass play. But I mean, honestly, it wasn't a bad scheme by Michigan State. Michigan State played to win the ball game, and to their credit, and Iowa had to come back and earn it. I'm going to tell you, at the middle of the third quarter, I wanted to see a different quarterback because Gronowski just was not getting it done, and that. It was ugly. But it was a win. Yeah. A win's a win. I can never bitch about a win, but I'm going to tell you, the old fourth quarter, I had this spot in my head that wrinkles up. I'm really mad. One of my gals in the office was at the game with us, and she goes, "You're not happy." I go, "Not at all. Not at all."
It's difficult to tell which you're going to get going in. Now, Is it the Penn State offense? The offense that we've seen against Penn State, is it going to be what we saw against Minnesota? Is it going to be like Michigan State is just about as bad as it can get and still get a win? I don't know. You could have much worse yet. So going into the Nebraska game, and from what I've seen coming out of Coach Rule, and players seem pretty quiet about it, is we're going to see the opposite of the, hey, we're not shaking your hand thing in the pregame or the coin flip. I bet we don't see that this year.
Nah, I don't think we will either. I mean, I don't know. It's a rivalry game. You want to respect your rival, although I admit I talk a lot. I'll be the first one, but I also expect it in return. So, here's what I say about Nebraska. I watched the Penn State game. I watched the USC game. Honestly, from what I saw, from Latif, I believe it's Latif, their quarterback. I believe that is the name that took over for Raiola. He's a mobile quarterback. And I actually think, given Nebraska's issues on offense, I guess I would say, I think that helps their offense. I think he's a better option for the Holgerson offense for what I saw them do. Nebraska, I believe it's Johnson, 21 for Nebraska, the running back. He's a stud. I mean, you know what? I mean, he's not Caleb Johnson, but I mean, he's formidable. I like him. I like him as a running back. There isn't anybody else on their offense that sticks out to me as far as per se. Where I think Nebraska is going to have trouble in this game is, Iowa likes to run the football. Shocker. We're probably still 130th in pass offense, but we're in top 10 in run offense, and we're probably in the 60s all over. Nebraska, well, Michigan State did. Michigan State had 11 guys basically within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. I think Nebraska is going to try to do that and try to make Iowa one-dimensional. If Iowa plays like they did for 3 quarters versus Michigan State, they will lose that ball game. If Iowa comes out and they throw the ball like they did in the fourth quarter, Iowa will win the football game. But Nebraska's run defense is not very good. I'm not going to say they're horrible, but for the times I've seen them play this year, I mean, Penn State, UCLA,
yeah.
Michigan, their run defense, and I'm biased, but I think this is the best, assuming everybody's healthy, this is the best offensive line in Nebraska we'll see this year. Now, I don't think Iowa's the best offensive line in the country. I think Oregon is the best offensive line in the country. After watching them at Iowa City across the front 5, Oregon is the best offensive line in the country, hands down. And that's not a knock on Iowa. I just think Oregon's a step above where I was at on the offensive line. And that's why they ultimately won the game. But going back to Iowa and Nebraska, that's where I think the game will get won. It's always in the line, but I think it's going to be, will Iowa offense dominate Nebraska defensive line? And I think Iowa will have a big game, but I think Iowa's going to have to throw the ball some too, especially early to loosen things up. And I would expect them to throw the ball. If they can do a little bit like they did in the fourth quarter versus Michigan State, if Iowa gets up by 2 touchdowns, I don't know. The only thing I will say about Nebraska with their quarterback and their running back is mobile quarterbacks have always given Iowa a little bit of fit. I go back to last year's Childs at Michigan State. Now, Childs did not play on Saturday for Michigan State, but mobile quarterbacks have had a tendency to give Iowa some fits. So that would be one of the things I would probably key on. Special teams. I mean, if Nebraska kicks at the Legion, good luck.
I don't expect Weegan to get a single punt return.
No, I don't either.
It has turned into, we're going to walk Barry Bonds with nobody on base.
Listen,
I mean, that's what it's going to turn into here because the kid's just too good.
Well, you know what? Even if he doesn't return for a touchdown, he gets 25 yards. I mean, he flips the field on you.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done all year. And then he gets some breaks one. You can see it. I mean, I don't think either team has had a lot of penalties this year from what I remember in games. I haven't seen a whole lot. I remember in the preseason, Steve Sipple from the Lincoln Journal-Star was on some deal, and he was on Kicks in Des Moines talking about Nebraska, and he said that Nebraska had the best offensive line in the Big Ten. I'm like, no, not even close. And I think this year has. I think they're better. I mean, I think Nebraska, as far as the team goes, you can see increments that could get better. I think if Latif would have had a full season, I think it'd be interesting to see where they're at. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge Raiola fan. I mean, kid's got an arm, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of his as far as a football player. He's a legacy. I get that part, but to be, he's better than Spencer Petras, but I don't know how much better, I mean, Spencer Petras could sometimes throw the ball well, then sometimes he'd take a 12-yard sack too. So,
yeah.
So if Latif's your quarterback for the future, which I know there's some rumors about transfers and whatnot, and who knows, we'll find out next week. But I think if Latif's your quarterback going forward, I think Nebraska actually has some things to look forward to, especially if Johnson comes back for another year, as I think they could be, if they've got some receivers that can play, could be fairly formidable. So.
Yeah, if you look at last time I checked, the over-under on this was 39.5 points.
Yeah, it's not going to be a huge scoring game.
And here's what I think, and again, just opinions, that in order for Nebraska to win, it has to be the under. Otherwise, Iowa goes over on their own.
Yeah, but here's the deal. And this is the thing. I think this is what bothers Matt Rule, and this is why I listen to the prime. Iowa thrives in playing of close games. Now they lost to Indiana late in a close game. It was 13-13 with 2 minutes to go. Missed field goal. Did get a 3rd and 5 time screen. You lose the game in Indiana. Oregon, you take the lead with 2 minutes to go, and their quarterback makes a 30-yard pass that, TJ Hall.
Greatest pass I saw all year. Yeah, Greatest pass I saw all year. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But Iowa is very comfortable playing, and if you get beat, that's a better day. I'm not sure that Nebraska is nearly as comfortable as what Iowa is playing in that position, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. They've won a lot more closer games this year than they have in the previous 5, I think. But it is still going to come down to where are the teams at mentally. I think skill-wise, if you look at just strictly skill, all things being equal, I think Iowa's a little better. But it's not about that. Often that's why you see upsets, because a team is not ready to play. I don't think that Penn State is a blowout win better than Nebraska.
No.
I don't think that. But that team was not ready to go into Happy Valley. And part of that could have been just the atmosphere That's a tough place to play.
I'll be honest. After watching that game, I'm glad Iowa caught Penn State when they did at Kinnick, because that Penn State team last Saturday, Iowa loses by 2 touchdowns. It's with the Grunderson or whatever their quarterback's name is. He's a lot. You can tell he's had a couple games. He's feeling a whole lot better about the offense. Much better. Penn State looked a lot more like Penn State than what they have, if you know what I'm saying. So no, I 100% agree. And it sucks going on the road, get blown out, but it happens. I mean, it's college football. A lot of these teams are close, and it's the little things. It's little things that cause. And so, how good are you at the little things? If you listen to coaches talk about blocking, well, you want to put your hands here and your head here because you want to prevent this. And you talk about a receiver here, you want to throw the ball out here and not in here because of this. They talk about a window. Well, you want the quarterback to throw it high and not low because of this. And we're talking matter of inches, and when you get into a game, the small details win. I mean, and I go back to last year, the no handshake, the whole, the whole, coach didn't know who didn't know who our linebacker was. And,
I think that last minute of football in that game was all about that handshake.
Oh yeah,
or lack of one. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so I mean, that stuff is whatever, but the problem is that stuff loses you football games. I mean, the Wisconsin. I mean, before the Wisconsin game, Wisconsin, what was it? Kick returner got a 15-yard penalty because he walked right in the middle of the swarm when Iowa was coming onto the field and started taunting them. 15-yard penalty. And what happened? Iowa wiped their ass all over the field. That didn't happen last year. Sorry, I guess I cussed. But
I'll put up a warning sign.
Yeah, but there's
from Travis in 3, 2, 1.
But I mean, you take a look at that, and so if that kind of stuff is what's got to get you. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And you want players to celebrate and make good plays, whatever. But there's also being, respectful. At the end of Iowa, Oregon, I didn't care for that half the receivers group went up to the north end of the end zone and started heckling the Iowa fans. And all of a sudden they got beer poured on them. Well, guess what? If you're going to go up and heckle 30,000 fans after they just lost and don't expect to get poured beer on you, you should maybe go back and rethink some of your life decisions, because that's going to happen. So,
smack talk after the fact, I have no time for.
No, not like that. I mean, it's a competitive game. This is the Heroes Trophy game, and so when you do some of that stuff, it's kind of unsportsmanlike. Nebraska always like to think of themselves as Nebraska nice, and so kind of what happened last year with the football team. Yeah, and I'm guessing Troy Dannon, their athletic director, from at Nebraska, used to run the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Was it Northern Iowa? He's an Iowa guy. I mean, he's from Iowa. Of course, he's now bleeding Husker red because he's the athletic director. I think I think they're trying to solve this. I would be very surprised if you saw any of that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're going to win with class. You're going to lose with class.
I think it'll be all about football this time.
Yeah, and
from Nebraska.
That's what it's supposed to be. If Iowa came out and did the same BS, I mean, they deserve to get heckled too. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say, Weegan versus Iowa State got a 15-yard personal foul. It probably lost in the game, frankly, first quarter. Guess what? You don't do that. Maybe the game turns out differently. So,
all right, give me your prediction.
Just shut your mouth and play football. I think it's going to be Iowa 24, Nebraska 14. So it'll be right at 38. You said 39.
39 and a half. That's the under.
So I would say it'd be just under. I don't think Legion gets a special teams return for a touchdown. I think he has an okay game. I think you're going to see Vanderzee from Iowa maybe have a good day catching the ball. I think Jazz Patterson is going to. Kamari Moulton's been playing, but I think Jazz Patterson's going to get him. I think Jazz Patterson's going to break one because Kamari Moulton had not been able to break one all year, and I think one of these running backs is going to break a big play. I expect it to be close, but I think it'll be a 10-point win this year. But it could come down to a field goal again. And if Nebraska come back and win, it's at home. I mean, they haven't beat us there since 2011. So, I mean, as I refer to as Kinnick West, and that rubs a lot of people wrong. But, I mean, it's something. If Nebraska won at home, I probably wouldn't be happy about it. But you also listen that for Iowa to be a 6.5 favorite at home, or a 6.5 dog at home. Boy, that's not saying a lot about for the odds makers. And if I'm
especially with Iowa's offense,
I would be pretty PO'd. I mean, like I said, I'm saying 24-14, but it could be 21-17. That would not surprise me at all. Either way, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. So.
Well, that's the game coming up, and we're at this point we're playing for how warm will the bowl game be.
Yeah.
So.
Because
usually the better record goes farther south.
Yeah, so. well, there you go. Well, they're both 7-4 right now, so this will be for bragging rights for the next year. So,
Travis Waldstein,
go Hawks as always. So.
Go Hawks! All right, we'll talk to you soon. Kickoff is at 11 this morning. We'll see how well this show holds up. If you're watching it after the game, then you already know. But again, as we did the interview, the game hadn't happened yet. It's a little bit different way of delivering things when you do media on the internet because it's no longer by appointment listening and you have to hear it right then. No, you can watch it anytime. So, you might even be watching the show a year later and we're at the game that's going to be in Iowa. I don't know. But again, go Hawks. That's my motto for the day. Feeling stuck in uncertainty, conflict, or miscommunication? The Spiral of Accountability by Carol Horner is your guide to breaking free from the fog that clouds decision-making and relationships. I wonder if she can help the relationships between Hawkeyes and Husker fans. I think she could. You can learn how to recognize negative cycles, shift your mindset, and build a culture of clarity and collaboration at work, at home, and in life. Get your copy on Carol's website, spiralofaccountability.com, also available on Amazon. And if you need precision metal fabrication done right, it's Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. From custom welding to large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they get the job done on time and built to last. Learn more at foxcofab.com. We've made it to the weekend, and again, Small Business Saturday is tomorrow. Weather permitting, number one, of course, stay safe. But keep your dollars local if you can. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great weekend.